don't think you are aiming to go 5-on-5 versus Boom Esports now as ours fourth pick, unless they last pick something that's really going to fill up to the handicap that they have right now. Monkey King is going to be banned by Boom, so the potential counter to Kunkka is out.
Sounds like a Timber Saw mid for RR.
Alacrity doesn't play that hero.
Yeah,
really
but he doesn't play the hero.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a shame.
To be honest, this looks like a perfect OD game if we are at 3 months ago.
Yeah, if we were 3 months ago, this is an OD game. This is so good for OD if, if the recent patches didn't happen.
Oh my god, this is so tough for R. They don't have anyone to absorb damage from Boom Esports, and now they have to deal with this PA. Their magical damage is all on Skyruff, but he needs to get his Atos, get to level 6 and stuff. And they have no save as well, so
they only have Primal Roar, right? But then you also want to Primal Roar the Bat Rider.
There's so many targets you want to Primal Roar on because you are basically Primal Roar is the only disable right now for R.
Yeah, they have to play, like just not 5v5, right? You have to play skirmish, more skirmish. You pick someone off, you take a tower, and then you just death ball your way. But what worries me is the high ground, right? How is Reality Rift gonna rush high ground against Boom Esports?
Well, we've just got a final pick here for Reality Rift. We're looking at a Slug.
Slug mid? That's a Slug mid. Slug mid is against Kunkka. In lane is weak against Kunkka because you can always trade better with the Tidebringer. But with the Essence Shift, it will also give Slug, the ability to fight this Kunkka.
So how are we sort of looking at Reality Rift playing this? They're going to go for these small skirmishes with these very two elusive heroes, your Weaver and your Slug. What's the build-up time for this though? Because both of these heroes need items before they can start moving around.
Yeah, I think BKB is a must item here for R. They need to get their 2 cores to have the BKB timing and hit together. And also they prefer long fights as well for Weaver and the Slug, right? You want to just keep kiting everyone around and build up your stacks for Slug, but then your other 3 heroes are not exactly the kind of heroes that you want to play the long fight. You want to just jump in and burst someone and then get out.
Yep.
So predictions.
My prediction, I'm gonna go with Boom.
I'm gonna go with Boom as well.
So both of you two are going for Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks tough for RR's draft.
Yeah. Alright folks, so we're going to be jumping into the game in just a moment, but we actually have something special for you guys at home as well. So we've got a special program, or what should we call this, a game? I think we'll call it a game.
The Neris Weekly Prophecy, right? The Oracle. It's time for you guys to be the Oracle. You know the Battle Pass, you can predict community matches. This is one of the ones that you can predict and also get yourself something. You can win $100 worth of Steam credits every week. So do make sure that you go and predict. You might become the next Oracle, of this Southeast Asia community.
Yep, so just in case you don't know how this works, all you need to do is head on over to oneesports.gg/Nerif. Now what's going to end up happening is this Sunday we have the special prophecy game. All you need to do is predict who is going to win that match. It will be in the running to win a $100 Steam gift card. So we're going to jump into the game, folks. Sorry about the delay, but we're going to be starting our first game of the match. We will be seeing you after the intro.
Boom.
Prepare for battle.
And here we are, game 1 of the day.
Here we go. Finally, Boom Esports against Reality Rift.
This is going to be very interesting for me in particular because I want to know how Reality Rift execute this lineup and sort of what they want to do with this Slug, what the role is of this Weaver, and the lanes in particular. I feel like lanes are going to be very important here.
Yeah, this is you want RR wants to just be able to play as fast as possible, fast and elusive. Mars and Kunkka becomes a huge factor that limits the cores of RR because X marks the spot. You have the Arena of Blood. As an elusive hero, you don't want to be restricted, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's very it's very contradicting to your personality.
Yep.
But now a bit of sticky napalm stacks onto the edge. Nuts tries to get away. Paralyzing cast level 1. Here comes the false stack. Gosh rebuild. Drew is there, but Nuts is pretty much dead. It's gonna be first blood. But early stick keeps him alive. Nuts able to get out, but he is pushed away from his lane. So a 3-man roam party from Boom Esports to clear that bottom room.
Yeah. And that's just gonna go regen in the fountain. This will be interesting for me because I want to know Drew plays this Weaver, I'm
begins.
trying to think back. Have I seen him play the Weaver before? And I personally don't recall.
It doesn't feel like a Drew hero, right? Because
It doesn't, especially with his play style.
yeah, we kind of, I think since Drew joined the team, he has always been, you know, regarded as a player that just wants to farm and hyper carry, you know, faces Void, Phantom Lancer, Troll Warlord. We've been repeating this ever since, you know, the topic of RR was brought up. But Weaver kind of has a different playstyle, right? You really want to weave in and out of the fight. You don't just stand there and try to germinate attack someone, and you rely on your bugs to really chip a target down with the minus armor.
Yeah. So maybe this is one of the strats that they've been saving on the side of Reality Rift, just keeping this Weaver pick, finding that game where the Weaver feels completely necessary and fits in. We'll have to see how this works out for Drew and how successful this Weaver ends up getting, because if it honestly can work well here, we could be seeing a lot more Weaver in the future for Reality Rift. But so far, Alacrity is doing pretty well up against this poor Kunkka. Rams, he can't really do anything with having his stats stolen.
Yeah, and this is probably what you want to do as the slot early on. You want to be up front, you know, against this Kunkka. You want to be right in his face. Level 1 Tidebringer doesn't really do as much damage as, you know, I think previously, before they kind of did a bit of number tweaking to it. So you can kind of deal with him before he gets his double bracer. It just makes it easier with the essence shift. So I think Alacrity is doing the right thing. You prevent this Kunkka from getting denied and last hits, and you are able to chip him out of the lane as well. So he's constantly making sure that this creep wave is pushing into his tower, and this Kunkka is being pushed right back. And every time Ramsey comes out for a last hit or a deny, he just gets, you know, a few of his stats stolen.
If anything, Rams is doing pretty well in lane still. He's not falling behind in CS. He's actually still tied up with Alacrity. So the Kunkka, he's not struggling by any means, but he's not dominating like the hero typically is with the Tidebringer, constantly harassing the opponent. Bottom lane looking pretty okay here so far for Drew. He's also tied up in CS here with the Mars. So there's no clear victor here as of yet. I'm wondering what Nuts' role is, because it seems so far it's just to sustain Drew and harass out this Batrider and Mars out of lane. But that's about it. The kill potential between these two very low for these heroes.
Yeah, but I think for the bottom lane, the only, you know, hero that is most prone to dying is probably the Enchantress if they somehow get onto him with the Firefly. Unless
Napalm stacks
and the
as
Napalm
well.
stacks, right? Unless he has the Centaur or the Hellbear to, you know, to stop engage. Is easy for Boom Esports to kill him if they find the opportunity. Weaver, you don't really want to think about it, because Weaver can always squish it out of the way. So Nuts' role is just to, you know, try and poke out this Batrider. You want to kind of make sure that this Batrider doesn't dominate the lane, and, you know, get those creeps whenever you can. Mars generally cannot kill the Weaver because of the Shikuchi. It's always this one spell that prevents heroes like Batrider or Mars from killing the Weaver off.
Yeah. Looking at the CS though, maybe Reality Rift should be a concern here, because Drew is falling behind Dreamercell on that PA. Dreamercell, he is farming quite well, sitting at 15 CS. So far, he's not really under threat yet. Level 6, he will need to worry about that Beastmaster's Primal Roar and the Scarif Mage. That between the two of them, those heroes have a lot of burst, but otherwise, PA, all according to plan.
Yeah, and I think we also had this topic brought up last week, where PA is kind of decent against the boar. Boar gets a lot of XP and gold. Your Stifling Dagger, spammable. It's easy to kill the boar whenever you see the opportunity, and you have to blur as well. The boar can't really hit you 100% because of that evasion.
Yeah. This looks like we're going to be getting a couple stacks here from the bat, so they're going to leave that one-on-one matchup. Looks like Nuts though just wanting to harass out the Batrider for now. So it looks to me though, farming wise, you got to be really happy if you're Boom. Yes, all your cores are farming, you've got no issues in lane, no one's really on the verge of dying as of yet. But what kind of timing are we looking at here if you're Boom? Because clearly you don't want to wait for Slark and Weaver to come at you, because typically that means that they've got their farm. You want to hit the timing before they manage to get their items.
Well, it seems like timing might be now. That's Nuts. Well, he's going to TP out. Alpha will trying to bite onto High's backside. The timing for Boom Esports is just, as long as they go even and they're able to get their farm on the course, I think they will always have the upper hand when it comes to fighting Reality Rift. Because as much as RR can play fast, and they have to play fast, you always have the Bat Rider factor, right? The only person that can kind of stop the Bat Rider is the Beastmaster with the Primal Roar when he goes for the lasso, or maybe
the silence.
Yeah, the silence of Skyrim Mage, right? You use the Ancient Seal. But other than that, before items like Lincoln Spear or Lotus Orb, you are gonna get grabbed regardless.
I mean, that's the case when you're going up against the Bat Rider. The lasso will always be a factor, whether it's being played as a core or as a support. Lasso is just so dangerous because all of a sudden you can pull one hero towards all your allies safely if you get the correct initiation.
Yeah, and these two cores are really susceptible to burst, and Drew, well, might get run down. He does have the Scoochie, but he's standing in the fire. Spirit burned down by High. That's the first blood for BO2 Esports.
It's a little unfortunate there for Drew. He was sort of pinned in a small corridor. He can't really do anything as that Weaver. The hero is just so squishy until he starts getting those items. So we're starting to see the strength of that Mars Bat Rider lane.
If you get speared, that's a lot of damage. Like these two cores from RR are not, they hate burst damage. They have really low health pool. They want to be elusive, but the heroes from BO2 Esports just makes it so hard. They have burst, they have ways to keep them within a single area, they have ways to lock them down. And if you are Drew right now, you have to be really careful. You don't want to just lose out the lane when the rest of the game are just going to get harder because of the draft.
Yeah. Drew might have to fall back to his typical style, just sort of sit back and farm, leave everything to the rest of his team to create that space. But if anything, if you're looking at this as Boom, you'd probably think, let's just shut down the Weaver lane. He's not really an issue for us. And Beastmaster, this is not a hero that typically goes down.
Yeah, and I think another problem that RR is facing right now is that none of these heroes are good space creators. You can't just TP a Weaver or Slug in and expect to get a kill instantly, right? Because they don't have means of engaging. Lacry needs to get close and get the pounce off. KYX1 needs to get the Primal Roar. In contrast to that, BO2 Esports, they have the Kunkka to set up, they have the Mars to set up, they have the Bat Rider with the lasso. Everything just looks, simpler to execute if you're BO2 Esports.
Yeah, don't have to jump through so many hoops to grab those kills. So it looks like maybe Reality Rift, they just sort of tone it down a little bit, play as defensive as possible, just get those items, in particular on that Slug. Alacrity's big role this game, and he sort of has to carry Drew for the first 15 minutes as well, because if Drew constantly gets harassed in lane, one of the biggest weaknesses with Weaver is this is a hero that just can't really farm like other heroes.
KYXY, they found him, they're just gonna stay on top of him. They have the dagger, the Firefly, and Napalm to the barbecue with Beastmaster. I will take his second kill. Meanwhile, Shadow Dance, since they managed to kill on Ram, Kunkka will finally fall in front of the tier 2. Mars does TP in, but I don't think they will find anything in return.
1 for 1. I think if anything, it's a pretty big window that they managed to kill off that Kunkka, really leaving a little bit of that space down bottom. And Drew has got some free space down there. That's the most important thing for Reality Rift. Just keep creating that space. And I think this is actually where Hustler's going to have to shine the most, because he actually deals the most damage right now with that Mystic Flare. If they can grab those Mystic Flare kills, just prevent Boom from wanting to make those rotations, especially killing off the Kunkka and Mars. With either of those two off the table, you can't really look for a gank.
Yeah, and I think at the same time, you also want Hustler to get his ATOS as soon as possible. It's also another way to stop this Bat Rider. You see him, you ATOS him, or if you lasso someone, you ATOS him to prevent him from displacing your team members. Very susceptible to being kited. And it also helps you to kind of burst down the PA and the Witch Doctor, because as much as we say how strong PA is on the side of BO2 Esports, early on you can still kind of burst him down with one full combo of this Skywrath Mage.
Absolutely. Skywrath is probably one of the biggest counters to a PA if he's sufficiently farmed. But until then, he's still not really sitting on too much. He's slowly getting his items. But speaking of items, Dreamer Cell is also farming his items, looking to grab the Battle Fury as his first one. Speeds up that farming, makes it so that the PA is going to be incredibly fat. This is actually a little bit scary, because a Battle Fury PA is going to out-farm a Weaver without a doubt. There's no way Drew keeps up if the Battle Fury goes up.
I think if BO2 Esports snowballs faster, they might want to consider the Dazzle build and just go for the Cleave Talent on PA, which as like a mini Battle Fury. But meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they found Drew again. This time they keep him in the arena. Cascade will find it really easy to kill off this Nerubian Weaver.
That's so unfortunate. Drew dying 2 times already. It's not even 10 minutes, and he's had a really tough lane. Look at his net worth. He's just the same as Mars. That's not the best position to be in as that Weaver.
And that's without lasso. They just have to find him. Like, even if you see the Weaver and Shikuchi, you just have to top the arena and he can't run out. That's even with time that won't be able to get out because it doesn't port you back that far in time. So this Weaver is things are gonna get progressively hard because you generally want to. I'm not sure what build he wants to go for. There's Mjolnir, there's Fuso, there's Testo, there's Mana Break Talent. But right now, he can't even access the backline without being caught out by the Testo. Boom Esports, Primal Raw on too high. They should be able to burst him down, and Alacrity will claim that free agility.
Alacrity's aiming to build up the drums first, so he's starting to just stack up the stats, make himself a little bit tanky. I believe Diffusal was his next item of choice, unless I'm mistaken. Standard build for the Slug, but it's going to be one of his main ganking items. Just to burn the mana and also just slow a target down, finish them off so that they don't kite him off.
Yep, it's a lot of ways.
Oh, poor Drew, he's being hounded.
They just don't want to give Drew any more space. And if you can look at all the lanes, they're occupied by some cores of Boom Esports. As a Weaver, he cannot show up to PA because PA has the blur, you won't be able to hit him most of the time. Middle lane is a no-go. Weaver is not that good in farming jungle as well, so and Bad Rider can obviously hold the lane on his own. They've kind of successfully pushed Drew out of his comfort zone, in the first 10 minutes, and I think this is going to make Boom Esports really happy. Alacrity got his drum, so you're going to be looking at this slot trying to push the tempo for his team as much as possible. But he has to do a bit more than that.
So it's going to be quite scary. Just Boom invading the Reality Rift jungle. So Reality Rift basically lost control of their jungle. They've got no vision in there, they can't see anything, they don't know where the PA is, and with the Mars up there, Hustler, he knows, okay? Very sure his intuition is sort of tingling, saying if I show myself in lane, I'm going to die.
It's also one of the problems with RR's draft. You're relying on this KYF by Beastmaster to get the Primal Roll off, but he'll be able to find hide and give Alacrity that killing spree.
Yep, the drum's also complete, and it is going to be Diffusal. Diffusal coming up soon, and was that Manta Style coming up as well after the Diffusal?
Yeah, Manta Style isn't too bad, but Alacrity now, this line might be fortunate, they found him, Medic. Use the Death Ward onto this very pesky little slot, but unfortunately they won't have the damage to kill him off. Shadow Dance comes into play, he's gonna regenerate his health regardless, but Nut might not be so lucky though. He usually gets jumped on by Phantom Strike. They also get the Arena Blood. It's gonna be Drew, okay, so 2 kills happening across the board. First gonna be the Enchantress, and it's gonna be the Weaver, the last one just to make sure you can't time-lapse away. Boom Esports, they find the bigger kills.
Oh man, they dropped the Sentry as well. The Invis Ring was supposed to be Nuts' gateway to freedom, but it's not necessarily what happened. Just so much detection around that river. Man, this is going to be a really tough game to come back from. Net worth is surprisingly still in favor of Reality Rift, but it's such a small advantage. It's not enough to say that they are going to be leading by any means. This game, it's purely going to be on the Beastmaster and that Slark Shoulders Hustler going down to the PA. Oh, that's a big ouchie right there.
Yeah, considering that, Hustler hasn't been able to do much as the Skyrap, he is getting decent farm, right? He's he's 80% towards that ATOS, so might be able to make a difference, but oh man.
How much of a difference is it going to make though? Because he's sort of going out on his own, trying to get his own farm. Yeah, they're ganking up top, but is Hustler going to be a big enough factor? Because let's be realistic. Boom have some very tanky heroes. They're not going to go down in a simple Mystic Flare.
I guess you just want to you want to play around this Slug and Beastmaster because they are the strongest members that you have right now. And I think, like Arthur mentioned during the draft, RR wants to play long, drawn-out fights, and
skirmishes as well.
It's hard for them to play long, drawn-out fights because their heroes are designed to only do that. The only burst you have is the Mystic Flare, but once once FBZ gets the type, it's not gonna matter anymore. So you want to stay in the fight for as long as possible with the Slug and the Weaver. However, against Boom, there's so much further to go through. You have to worry about a possible Halberd coming out from Ramsey. So RR needs to play a bit faster than this.
do have Hustler nearby just in case anything happens to Alacrity. I'm just going to kill off the bird first. Looks like Druid taking out the enemy jungle here. They're trying to speed up the farm for Drew. It's getting very serious for this Weaver. He's slowly catching up, but still got a long way to go.
Yep, and you can see this Kunkka is queuing up the halberd. He's almost gonna get it pretty soon, and that will impede the Slug from attacking. Because this arm is gonna hurt the Slug a lot in a situation where RR they are desperately relying on Alacrity to do majority of the damage because of the lead that he has. He went for the drums, which means that you want to play as fast as possible. But the longer this game goes, the lesser the effectiveness of the drums is going to be. Now, Halberd is completed for Ramses. BO2 Esports, they're in a pretty decent spot right now.
Yeah, feeling very confident. They also leading by a sliver of gold. Not a lot yet, not 1k as of yet. It's only 15 minutes in. But everything's going according to plan. They've got towers down. They've also managed to get multiple kills on the enemy team's carry. Sort of crippling them as well, since Drew won't be hitting the same timing. He'll be a little bit delayed with when he starts becoming relevant in these team fights. The only thing I'm really worried about is how do they deal with Dreamer Cell on this PA? He is farming on time, is about to get his Battle Fury, and then once he gets that BKB, that's basically it.
You kind of just want to burst him as soon as possible, but LBG is going to break the smoke. The A-top review is going to kill off this Mars for 34 seconds.
Big kill.
Another condition that RR needs to check every time they take a fight. Pick someone off, just don't play a 5v5. As long as you're playing with a man advantage, you will have the upper hand.
They're pushing these towers too, so they are accumulating that tower gold, just taking all of the possible avenues for TPing away from Boom, making it harder for them to reinforce these upcoming fights.
They might be able to kill Hyde though. You can see Alacrity here.
Doesn't matter though, Hyde's already got his Blink Dagger.
Yeah. But I think in any case, as long as you can constantly make sure that BO2 Esports cannot fight S5, you have the advantage. And Drew on recovery mode, he gets that Maelstrom. This will speed up his farming speed as well. Necrobo is completed for KYXY. This is also gonna help him. And the Zoo strat is coming into full display from Reality Rift. So BO2 Esports, as much as we say that their draft is kind of stronger than RR, they cannot let their guard down.
Absolutely.
Radiant's middle tower. Radiant's middle tower is under
I
attack.
think they've drawn that line to Drew. Or is it going to be for Roche?
Yeah, they can check the Roche for a while. Firefly's used. They're going to look for this Weaver.
But you know someone's been in that jungle. All the creeps are gone. Big item.
Wrong way.
Big item picked up there onto Alacrity. So Diffusal is now done on the Slark. And now all of a sudden, Alacrity is going to hit a very big power spike here. Yeah. This is a huge item for the Slark. Basically, anyone that gets pounced on, they're not getting away.
Yeah, this is going to allow BO2 Esports to... Reality Rift to fight more effectively against Boom. And as long as they kill off this PA, honestly, Boom is not going to have too much damage to do with both the Slug and the Weaver. They rely on this PA to kind of get those coup de grace, just one shot, the back lines and kill off the cores. But if this Phantom Assassin gets bursted by the Skywrath Mage and the Beastmaster, suddenly RR will have a huge advantage in team fights.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the damage is now going to be coming from that PA. Sure, they were actually pretty good when it came to the Kunkka and the Mars early on, but eventually their damage is going to completely drop off and it's all going to be on that PA. So it could be a little bit scary here if Reality Rift can keep up when it comes to this pacing. But otherwise, it might just be all eggs in the basket. Maybe Boom just win because of that PA. Let's be realistic. Crits, you never know when they're coming. They always come when you least expect them.
Yeah. Awesome against Slot. Amazing against Weaver.
Basically anyone that's squishy, which if you look at Reality Rift, everyone...
4 members.
Exactly.
Except for Beastmaster. Well, they're gonna walk into uncharted territories, but early warning Cascade just link in, just link dagger, need to find someone though. Might be Lackley, but the flame break doesn't catch him. FBZ is gonna find Nut, well, Constellation Fire will pour him up into the air and they will burn into the crit.
But still... They didn't even use the lasso for that too, so they still have that Blink Lasso available on the Bat Rider. Alacrity sticking around.
The drums is popped. FBZ doesn't have mana for the Arena of Blood, but a really ambitious torrent from Ramses too.
Maybe it wasn't that bad of a play from Alacrity, just burning off that mana from the Mars.
Yeah, Mars has huge mana problem. even with the soul. But here we go. Oh, the dust into an instant last. So they need the burst, so they have to pull spilling into the tree. And Drew is going to be taken down. Primal Roll way too late. They drop the Mystic Flare, but look at that. Dreamo Cell doesn't care. There's no damage at all. And KYX is forfeited, and the great arena from FPZ. He locks us out of his, from the rest of the team. Alaki is now called out. He wants to fight, but they have the Halberd. Now they're going to lose. Hustler, Alaki forced to stand his ground. He's going to fire high. Ryback comes in from Drew. Drew wants to contribute. Alaki is going to fight the second one time onto FPZ, and now he's going to try and will on Dreamo Cell, but they have the Death Ward. And Twitch coming in? Nope, not just yet. Alaki leaves to safety, and Drew is lucky he has the timeline to get away. And Nuts with the Centaur Conqueror not even able to get a stun off. And Alacrity does not have the Shadow Dash. He does find Ramsey though. He wants to fight Dreamo Cell with the assistance of Drew, but he realizes he can't fight it because of the halberd. He's constantly disarmed. Drew trying to create a bit of space, and Dreamo Cell, he wants to TP out. He gets out. Same as Ramsey's Reality Rift. They get nothing.
Wow, Reality Rift. They didn't get anything, but oh my goodness, they got the Mars. Alacrity's really starting to hit that power code. You can see that they can't lock down this Slark at all. He's just so elusive. He's bouncing around all over the place. The Shadow Dance making him very tanky as well because he can heal back up. If Dreamo Cell's not careful, he actually might get jumped on.
Yeah.
Wow, Alacrity really carrying his team there.
You need the burst for the slot. He's going for the Shadow Blade into Silver Edge, so that would help RR deal with Dreamo Cell.
Absolutely cripples PA.
Drew was just lucky. He almost died back.
Mystic Flare?
Luckily he did have the time lapse, but it's gonna be Hyde again. The A-Toss really coming to fruition.
Is that Reality Rift?
KYX1, are you there? Drew, you can attack. It's outside the arena. He got the gold ship and then lose KYX1 with Alacrity. He has something to say about that. He's putting onto FPZ. And I think Boom Esports, they want to keep fighting, go on to Nuts, but A-Toss and the Ancient still prevents Dreamo Cell from getting any closer. FPZ finally goes down, but Trench he comes. He wants to provide a bit of backup. Alacrity's getting crit on, but he has the Shadow Dance. He's gonna start cleaning up. The man I think he does not care. He's gonna find the Witch Doctor as well. Ramsey's the last guy alive, but Alacrity says, guys, I will leave this to you. Drew, you've been tortured in early game. You're gonna get this kill over, but Hyde, yes, the lasso, he's a hustler. Get on the cliff, not going anywhere. Or not enough damage though, and Lasky gets delivered a free kill. That's a wicked 6 streak for this slot.
Oh, things are starting to get very hairy for Boom, and I think they're starting to underestimate that mid slug. They didn't really think he was going to be this much of a problem, but wow, Alacrity really coming into this. 7 kills, 4 assists, and he is almost caught up with that PA. And remember, PA had a battle fury. You have to think this Dreamo Cell, he's been spending most of the game farming. So to have the Slark almost catch up just because of all of those kills is incredible.
This is a dream game. Alacrity has 7, he's 7-0 as a Slark. He has a 9 stolen Agi, he has a drums at Diffuso, he just got his fresh Shadow Blade, which would help him tremendously against even support, even in general against Boom Esports. So what we thought that Boom Esports can achieve during this timing is completely gone out the window because of how well Alacrity has been playing. We talk about him being the tempo controller, and he's achieved that with his mid slot.
Oh, he's taking over with this slot.
Definitely for ages. Oh man.
And it's on Alacrity too. You have to think about this as Boom. What do you even do? They already struggled to kill him the first time. Now that he's got an Aegis, okay, you might be able to burst him down the first time. Who's to say you're going to get him the second time?
Yeah, and Boom has to slow down. Dreamo Cell pretty unlucky. He has not gotten a crucial crit just yet, but they have the high ground advantage. They don't have the ward, so Alacrity is going to face check this. He runs in with the backpack.
He really wants to try and get the mana burn there onto FBZ. If he can just hit him a couple of times,
but they found the lasso though. The Witch Doctor does go down. I don't think he wants to be there. He wants TP, but he can find it regardless. KYX right with the board. Just shoots the quills and kills him off. Boom,
slowly being dismantled here. They're actually losing their opening. This is supposed to be when they sort of want to go with that PA, but now they have to slow down a little bit. They got the Deso on the PA, not feeling confident yet, so I think at this rate you just got to say, we're going to wait for BKB.
Yeah.
BKB's now their second biggest timing. But even then, though, there's still going to be that Primal Roar. But then again, considering that Dreamo Cell's positioning, it's been pretty on point. I don't think KYX wants to save the Primal Roar for the PA, so it might still be all right. But it comes down to how they execute those team fights. I have to say, it almost feels like when it comes to the fights as well, Boom, they haven't really been very efficient with the Mars Arena. They've sort of been they've been going on the first hero that they can see, and a lot of the time it's just been on Drew.
And Drew was out. Wow.
Yeah.
Bang to the Dreamland. Without
Good
BKB,
night.
nothing he can do.
Oh, good night, Sweet Prince. That's especially on the PA as well. That's a lot of time to be off the map.
Yeah, things are getting become from bad to worse for Boom Esports. And with how elusive the cores of RRR, it's just so hard to kill.
What can you even do?
Gatsby is dead. They have to forfeit. There's nothing he can do.
It's just more free kills for this rogue Slark.
11 agility, 11 permanent agi. 23 minutes in. This guy is so out of control.
This game is spiraling out of control. Unless Boom can somehow get control back, whether it be to kill a Slark or slow down the push, but he's just so free. There's nothing to stop him. Look at this.
FBD's. Ooh, that was close. You give a Slark this much space early on, he can just easily run a drum Shadow Blade and just assassinate your backline. There's nothing that they can do. They have no burst to kill a Slark. I mean, you add the ship and some lucky crits, but that's pretty much it. I don't think at this point Alacrity cares because of the drums. He has pretty decent stats. And this ATOS plus Ghost Scepter, now you can just one-shot the Skyrim Mage unless you just crit him from the beginning. It's hard to get onto the edge as well. What RR wants to do right now is just, it doesn't even matter who you primal roll, as long as you kill off one guy from Boom Esports, they just get crippled. Alacrity is going to break the smoke and FBZ smells something in the air.
Yep, they know as well. Oh man, it's such a tough game. The good news for this game as well for Reality Rift is that now Alacrity is so threatening, all the attention is going to be drawn to him. They're always going to have to watch out for the Slark. And this means that now there's going to be an opening for Drew. Whether he wants to join the team fights or not, he won't be that primary target anymore because they'll be looking at the Weaver and they'll just say, it's just a Weaver.
And he has a Lincolns. Now he won't ever be the primary target because you can't just jump and lasso him. Silver Age now completed for Alacrity. He will break Dreamer Cell if he needs to.
Things are going from bad to worse here for Boom. It's not over yet though. They've still got high ground. That is their biggest advantage here. If we're looking at Reality Rift, if they want to try and go up high ground, it's always just going to be so problematic. Shadow Blade on KYXY.
Double Shadow Blade.
Yep, so much invisibility.
His BKB timing is out, but slightly too late. Slightly late for the PA. Considering the state of the game, I would say it's pretty late, but you see that they saw Alacrity though, Kakatu shot on Dreamer Cell does silence right away, but they did drag off onto the plate. Now they got the arena, they had the gold ship as well. They declare on top of Dreamer Cell, but that's the friend BKB. He needs to do something, but can he redo the damage? So I don't think he can. They can lose the Witch Doctor, they find KYX, but in return, but Alacrity just whirling onto the members of Boom Esports. FPZ turns around with the bulwark, but he's just gonna be taken out. And Cascade, he does buyback, they get the ship, buyback from FPZ as well. They should be able to get the Gold Scepter, but they have to Maledict, and it's 4 angry members of Boom Esports to take him out. 3 kills for Boom, but still a decent win for RR.
Yeah, very costly too. All those buybacks and all you managed to get was Enchantress on the run. The biggest victory would have been if they could finally get that kill onto Alacrity, just get rid of the Aegis and kill him off. He's still going though.
He's gonna feel really happy because now they don't have any spells to lock him down. They have to rely on raw damage to kill him off, and that is not easy.
They don't have that raw damage yet. All of it is in the PA, but I think even, let's say Alacrity and PA decide to fight now, there is no way that Grimace will win that matchup yet. He's just not farmed enough.
He has Silver Itch. You can't blur, you can't dodge the attacks anymore. So Boom Esports, they're gonna utilize this window and now probably get that outpost to find more than that. It's pretty hard for Boom Esports to even go out onto the map if the members of RR are alive.
Basher is going to be the next item of choice here for Dreamer, so it really might have to just come down to lucky bashes here.
Yeah, just that one bash, right? You kill off the Slug before he does anything.
Maybe not even the Slug, I'd say even if they can maybe grab the Beastmaster or even Hustler first, right? Just grab one of those 2 heroes with a major source of lockdown, just kill them off before you lose your allies. I think if anything, we saw in that last fight, they have to play so defensively now. We saw them use the arena to keep the Slark away, but even then, it wasn't quite enough. They didn't have the follow-up because, again, it all just goes back down to Dreamer Cell. Even the Realm is just not enough to keep everyone alive.
I mean, you can use the Arena Blood to trap the Slark inside, but the Slark would just stand his ground and fight at this point. He's just way too strong. Oh, Enchantress now has the Sun. She's probably going for the Halberd as well. This is the problem when, you know, the 4 Protect one, right? The one main core one halberd and suddenly Dream Cell becomes ineffective. This is getting really tough for Boom Esports, and despite the praises we gave them for their draft and how well the performance has been, they have not been able to, or more towards Reality Rift, have been executing their draft to perfection.
We can also say that Boom, they might be struggling as well because they're not running with their usual roster, right? They're running with Rams today. We don't know how well they're synergizing with Rams, if maybe Rams' style of heroes is just completely different to the usual mids that they typically draft, or maybe even his play style, you know? When you're picking up a new player, no two players are ever going to be exactly the same. They have their own niches, they have their own pool of heroes that they can play. So we're not sure if it's maybe them just trying to play safe and say, okay, we're going to focus on Dreamer Cell, Rams, we just need you to back him up. Maybe that was the plan. At this rate, it's now just going to have to come down to the team fights, because if you look at Boom, they only excel at team fights. This is sort of what they've drafted themselves into, a bit of a hole if you think about it. Like they can't split push, they can't go for small skirmishes. Their heroes are all based on these big team fights, and even the big team fights they're losing.
Yeah, they want to play fast with this PA. It's all revolving around this PA, but it's not going to be that easy if you are 10k go behind. They use the smoke, but the smoke got them absolutely nothing, and you can see how aggressive Alacrity is positioning himself. If they kill off FPZ, Boom Esports, they cannot fight FPZ down.
No buyback.
Now Boom Esports, they have to start running. They have to hold the high ground for 70 seconds, but they might lose more members if RR gets on top of them. Thankfully, they have the Spider Legs, the Blink Dagger, so all the remaining survivors would get out. But 60 seconds without this Mars.
Game is all on Reality Rift now. They can just farm the map, they can wait for their next items. They're probably waiting for the next Roche as well before they go high ground. Don't really need to expose themselves to any kind of danger. And PA getting very, very close now to the Abyssal. We've got a smoke here.
Yeah,
going to be leading away with those creeps as well. Lots of caution pings.
Nuts has his own halberd. They found high. Dreamer Cell's also gonna start running away with that.
Atos,
yeah, Hyde is dead. 40 seconds without the Spat Rider.
It's all basically just Reality Rift doing some control here. Keep them just locked up in their base. The moment they show themselves, what do you do? There's only so much. Oh my goodness.
That's a lucky hit. Nuts didn't see that coming. X-Mark spot on the Alacrity. They have the point, they got the protein, they have the back. Now PKD being used, but great primal from X-Mark. Did a lot delay the depth, the damage. Alacrity manages to pounce away. And you can see Dreamer Cell, they're really trying for it. You know, they were banking for that back, they were banking for that burst.
But Primal Roar.
Primal Roar.
What can you do? Even with a BKB and piercing BKB. This is Beastmaster is just so ridiculously strong sometimes when you think about it. The hero gives you so much control over the map. You've got the Boars for laning, you've got the Hawks for vision for the entirety of the game, and then you have Primal Roar, a BKB piercing disable, and he's tanky too. You have an aura as well. The hero, if you've never played Dota, if you told someone, hey, there's a character in game that does all this, they'd be thinking, wow, this guy's broken.
And you know, to a certain extent, he does provide a lot. I think the main thing is, like, he provides vision, provides great aura and
hard lockdown.
Hard lockdown, yeah. And Alacrity has made himself the focal point of this entire RR draft, which means that Boom Esports, they feel compelled to kill off the slug before anything else. So there's a lot of room for Drew to just weasel his way into a fight.
Drew still needs to catch up though, because if there is a team fight where Boom managed to come on top because of the PA getting a couple of lucky crits, then you're going to run into some issues, because I think at the end of the day, this ends up being a duel for draft. You can't rely purely on Alacrity here. Drew's got to catch up at some point. He is, thankfully, to all of this attention being drawn onto Alacrity, but we've got to watch this next fight. Abyssal was just made on that PA, and if he gets lucky, he might just get the crits of his life here.
Yeah, Infi, Alacrity, he sidesteps the Spear of Mars, Arena of Blessing, but there's no trade back. They're going to lose Hyde before he uses that lasso. It's now the Primal Roar, that's the engage that they're looking for. Hyde fights back, need the TP to the shrine. They do lose Hustler, but Dreamer Cell is occupied with a lot of buffs on his body. He's gonna send a strike to the camp, get a bit of life steal, they get the lasso on the Alacrity, and they keep also, what's the damage? He goes in the shadow dance, they can't see him, and Dreamer Cell says, goodbye my friends, I'm out of here. Might be able to take care of X-Bar with them, but care of X-Bar will instantly buy back, and Alacrity, while he goes beyond godlike, they can't kill the slug, and RR gonna go back to Roshan.
The thought process is actually kind of right there. Use the arena to keep Alacrity out on the team fight because they weren't able to finish off anyone before the arena came down. So the thought process is there for Boom, but they just need a little bit more firepower. And this is probably where you kind of wish maybe Kunka should have been a different core to complement that PA. But unfortunately, this is sort of what they're left with. It all comes down to one team fight.
The Void Spirit would be a decent choice, right? I was kind of expecting Boom Esports to probably pick up that Void Spirit, which
it's hard to say what
does
they
the same thing, right?
It's hard to say what they could have gone for, and what they couldn't have gone for, right? But they're making the best of the situation. It almost feels like now if you're a Boom, you're kind of gambling every single time you team fight.
You need to keep Dreamercell alive, right? I think Ramses is going for the axe as well, just for the Torrent Storm. You want to create as much chaos as possible in the fight
and draw that attention away from the PA. Yeah.
Dreamercell was lucky that he didn't get bursted down, but
he's so close to going down.
Alacrity had a 9-second BKB now. I think Dreamercell, he managed to kind of lifesteal a bit off of the camp, the neutral camp, so he was able to keep himself alive for a bit longer while waiting for the cooldown for his next Phantom Strike. The buyback from Hyde definitely helped. It kept Alacrity in place, even though they couldn't kill him off because he went into Shadow Dance. But at the end of the day, as long as this PA doesn't go down, you will have a fighting chance.
If anything, the PA is their only fighting chance, really. It's going to try and keep it safe. Just make sure the PA stays on top of that net worth chart. Just try and get that hero 6 slot. Yeah. That's the goal. Just get the 6 slot, win that one team fight, and get the Aegis. Honestly, it really feels for Boom. All it takes is one team fight. Just that one comeback, and they're going to bring them back into the fold.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten to this stage, and it's a state that I don't think Boom Esports wants to be in. You want to constantly be ahead or be feared around the map, but they are just being corralled. They have the high ground advantage again. Triple Stifling Dagger talent picked up by Dreamercell, but they're losing control over all their jungle. There's 4 values going over to Natural as well. I think Otomo did mention about this, this Witch Doctor pick. Well, I had a couple of talks with him. He's just not good as support the later the game goes. Now he just doesn't provide anything. Your Death Ward doesn't kill people fast enough.
Maledict's not as influential anymore.
And you get bursted down. You have really low health pool. So you need to get like a godly terrorizing type something, but Alacrity's in a really aggressive position.
He's just taunting them now. He's so difficult to kill. He's also got the cheese. So even if they attempt to kill off that slug, more often than not, I think he's just going to get that cheese in time.
When he gets a Scarly, things would get even harder for Boom Esports to do anything.
Well, it's going to get harder now because if you take a look at Drew, he's done a lot of farming.
Oh man,
he managed to catch up. Yep, he's almost the same net worth as Alacrity, and this is so painful to watch as well if you're rooting for Boom ID, because you have to think, you have to kill Alacrity, but then now Drew is also going to be a factor.
Yeah, and that's the silver lining for RR's draft, where Drew was getting hammered on the entirety of the early game, but Alacrity managed to buy time and rally his team to play as fast as possible, and now they put Boom in a situation which is supposedly, the opposite that what Boom wanted. Dreamercell position before Stifling Dagger, blinking. He gets the BKB off his time, but just don't get the silver edge. They're going to see Arena of Blood, but Lucky doesn't care. Great last from hiding, to pull him back, to burn him down. Here's the whip, Westing Damage. They find it, he couldn't get the cheese off. There's 90 seconds, and Drew's going to time lapse for round number 2. Witch Doctor is dead, but they did find they have to go to onto Ghost Hunter. It's not going to help you, my friend. The blink in, the spear into the wall. They're going to find this enchanted as well. Bring all the wall up, Mystic Flash, no damage. They find the Weaver. Now Drew is down. Come back to life in the midst of the Torrent Storm as KYS gets cleaned up. Now Drew has to fight. They have the detection, but he does have that Lincoln Spear to stop the dagger.
But does it really matter?
Catch him though. They find it with the axe. They have the vision. They have the gem. That one fought early on, and Drew will be taken down for almost 2 minutes. That's the tip that he needs, and that's the tip that Boom Esports deserve as well. Great hold.
Wow, what a team fight for Boom ID, and all of it came down to Alacrity just getting absolutely sniped. You can understand Reality Rift. They see Dreamercell, they realize, oh, he's kind of out of position, let's try and kill him. They almost got him, but the BKB on the PA saved his life. Fortis, he ran out of time. Link striking out, and then it ends up being Reality Rift falling for Boom's trap.
Yeah,
It was brilliant.
he would have died to the Mystic Flare if not for that BKB, and big props to Hyde. That lasso at the last moment when Alacrity leaped out of the arena with the BKB, that was perfect.
Oh my goodness. So all of a sudden, we might be looking at Boom sitting at a really good chance to come back now.
That's the fight you've been looking for, right? Boom just needed one fight, and they got it. That's the dream fight.
And it's huge too because the Weaver is dead. 60 seconds. That's still a lot of time for Boom to just constantly go for another push. Hustler getting
Is it?
forward. Oh, they're being dismantled one by one.
And Drew's death timer is so long because it was the accumulation of the previous buyback. He has not died since then, so he has to sit on the sidelines for almost 2 minutes. But this is suddenly a huge turnaround. This gem that BO2 Esports invested in 10 minutes ago is starting to pay off. They're gonna get a free set of racks off of that one fight.
Could you imagine if someone tells you, oh, by the way, Boom's going to take this racks off of Reality Rift? I'm very sure most people wouldn't have believed them. They would have looked at the lead Reality Rift had and just been like, nope, that's fine. They'll slowly chip them away. They'll get the Aegis. They'll get the cheese. They'll push high ground.
Yeah, but that's what we always tell each other, right? In Southeast Asia Dota.
It's so chaotic.
It's so chaotic. This is it. This also demonstrates one of the problems with our draft. I think it was mentioned during the drafting phase. I think Arthur brought it up as well, where there's the Skyrim and you just want to sit back. And in those tight corners, there's nothing much you can do. You want to sit back. You can't just funnel yourself, through that bottleneck. And it was the perfect place for BO2 Esports to just isolate the cores and kill them off.
I think that also one of the biggest factors was that Hustler already used his.
It's not going to help too much, it doesn't dispel the lasso, unfortunately. But it does help dispel against the paralyzing attack. Or at least probably against the napalm, but there's nothing much this flicker can do. Well, for the extra armor, I guess. Once you throw that Mystic Flare out, you just run dry of mana and you're just like, I can auto attack, I can use my Ghost Scepter. But that's pretty much it. That's probably one of the biggest downside of a Skyrim mage. You just want to press one button and kill someone off. Princess Knife for Drew, that might help. They have the
heard a smoke.
Oh no, this is
They might get Alacrity. He's afraid.
Look at the cleave.
Insta TPs.
They're trying to find him, but they can't. Minotaur Horn found by BO2 Esports. A great item for Dream or Cell, or even for Hyde. For Ramses. I think Hyde has the spider leg, so FBZ or Ramses would really appreciate that 1.5 seconds of magic immunity. Titan Silver is so good on this PA. You just can't lock him down with the status resistance.
Now 40 minutes in. Could almost say the game is tied now, kind of.
Yeah. Not
completely, but the game is definitely much more equalized. Gold is equal across the board. We still have Reality Rift leading by 3k, but against a PA this time, I'm not sure.
BO2 has been doing an exceptionally good job. Like, we've been putting a lot of attention on Blacky, right? Beyond God, like, he only died once, but Dream or Cell is 11-2. You really have to look at this game and think to yourself that,
well, he was going to hit critical mass at some point.
Yeah, this is it. Right? He's been playing the game correctly up to this point. So as much as the limelight was on the slot, now you have to also put PA on the same stage as him. They're gonna try and break it with the shadow. They do have as much responsibility to pull him back. That's another tier 3 down.
Gonna back up 2 mini heroes there for Reality Rift. I think this is the correct decision as well, because if we look at the previous fight, it was actually Reality Rift that sort of funneled into that very weird spot. It's just, Boom, they always tell themselves, don't directly engage into Reality Rift, because if you give that space to Slark, he can always dip in and out because there's just so many nooks and crannies he can sort of run into. But if you funnel them into a bottleneck, that's where the issues are going to be, because all of a sudden you're going to catch multiple heroes. They have so many more shots.
BKB instantly used by BO2 Blink in the arena, and they're gonna lasso of Alacrity. Oh, the crit is there. 2.7 down K. As the BT kill final comes out, and I think BO2 Esports, they're looking to do as much damage as they can. Here comes the gold ship of the Hustler, but meanwhile, he does hit the gold scepter, but they have fire on top of him with the barbecue crew. This is for the buyback of the PI with the last one to join the fight and bring this back for his team. He does break this Kunka, but does he have the damage? Don't get the assistance of this Weaver. 3 buyback from RR, and they have yet to find a single kill on the side of BO2 Esports. And Boom can stick together like a death ball. as RR might look for the engage. Drew is really far in front. Take a look for Dreamosel, but double four steps in. Dreamosel, you gotta get out, my friend. Drew still on top of him with the MKB, and he's gonna go in DKB a pistol, and Drew, goodbye! 100 seconds on the clock, double man torrent, Alacrity is slow down, he gets back down, another crit, and that's the lucky coup de grace. Lady Luck Mouth, triple kill for Dreamosel. Ladies and gentlemen, Boom Esports turning this around. Reality Rift, you know what's cooking? Boom! Boom Esports gonna find his team wipe, and RR gonna have the win wrenched right away from their grasp, and that's a 5-man takedown for Boom Esports.
All hail Boom, the positional kings.
Divine Rapier.
Did you see how masterfully they pulled their positioning? They were slowly inching Reality Rift closer and closer towards such small quarters.
Yeah.
And they all just got bottlenecked.
That's a GG.
Oh my goodness.
The late game machine that is Boom Esports. It just can't stop the battle. And all it took was, well, not one, but 2 fights for Boom Esports to take the series 1-0.
Goodness, the comeback was real. I know.
Excuses. Hindi ikaw kita. Kay Papa, hindi ikaw kita. Hindi ikaw makita ni Papa.
Edit ni sa yung picture ko ba yun? Tanang po pala diba? Bata mo lang ga.
Kasi 20 lang sa
Pinili na excited pa yung mga ticket.
Siya yun ang nagbutang? Ikaw yun yung nag-edit na?
Watch the spider out in the silence. You are the one into the spider up the spider. It's a spider. Oh my god, you. Tattoo.
80 lang. Baba. Laking na dyan. Kaya ng laptop talaga. Init eh.